What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of It Came from Discord. Having a lot of fun with these lately. We made one of these a while back. Spite and I were here making fun of people's bikes on Discord. Had a kind of an old It Came from Craigslist energy. A nice weekends with Yam video. We're just sitting here hanging back. It's gonna be a ton of fun looking at all these fun motorcycles that the boys have posted up over here on our Discord server. So if you don't know, we actually run this Discord server for our channel. It's like the coolest thing that we do on the whole rigmarole that we got going on over here. It's actually my favorite part of everything that we do. Our Discord server has one of the most segmented and kind of best controlled setups that I've seen on anybody's motorcycle Discord channel. We do weekly contests with prizes on the Yamcast. We have people in here all the time hanging out. I think right now there's over 300 people live hanging out and doing stuff. We have 3,500 members on there, so if you want to join on the Discord, participate on a deeper level with what we do here on the channel, hit the link down below, join on yamanoob.co, and get access to the Discord server and have a ton of fun. We actually have had a big uptick on people joining. I've seen a ton of new members. I think we have like 100 new members last week, which is really, really cool. I love seeing new people come in and new people being excited about what we're doing. Today, we have asked the boys to send in a bunch of pictures of their motorcycles, a small blurb about their motorcycle, and I'm gonna try to roast them the best that I can. Also, big shout out to today's sponsor. It is Ridge Wallets. I actually have my literal Ridge Wallets right here with me. I bought this after they were a sponsor of the channel, which goes to show you how much I like the wallet itself. It's RFID blocking, nice little cube that you can put, well, it's not really a cube, more of a rectangular prism of sorts that you can put. It's the most compact shape you can have for a wallet. I really, really like mine. They make all kinds of great stuff. They make knives, duffel bags, everyday carry stuff, this cool little key slider thing that you can buy as well. Hit the link down below for Ridge. Use the code YAMMYNOOB. Get yourself a nice little discount from me to you. Now let's begin today's video. All right, so I'm gonna go over here to bike pics in the members domain segment of our Discord, and I've asked the boys today for their bike pictures. I wanted them to show off their ride. I don't know if everyone showed off their own ride here, but we're gonna take a look at these. There are quite a few entries, and I wanna make sure that I start at the top. All right, let's begin. So Jahan DeFish here, he says, Yami, this is my baby, a 2012 CBR 1000RR. I don't think there were 3 R's back then. Bought it and jumped from a 401 Vitpillen with less than 100 miles. Guy before me laid her down several times and trashed the fairings hard. I bought her, replaced the exhaust and the fairings without any help or experience. White is before, orange is the after. Okay, cool, so this bike does not look like this currently, because that looks like a pretty wretched little motorcycle right there. What year is this again? What did he say? It's a 2012. That was a good year. Honda made a big upgrade to the CBRs in 08, if I recall correctly. Made it one of like the best track day thousands that you could buy, in my opinion. This is a pretty rough bike, but it's looking pretty good after all the work was done on it, and I assume it runs. That is pretty bananas to go from a 401 Vitpillen with less than 100 miles to a mid-2000s liter bike. More power to you, God bless. I don't think you have enough experience to really ride that motorcycle, but as long as you're being safe, what else can we really say here? I'm gonna rate this one, I think, for having done all this work yourself and cleaned it up and for being the true liter bike street squid life, I'm gonna give you a 7 out of 10. Good job, I love to see it, well done. All right, Sarcasm here says, Yaminoo, to tackle the issue of I didn't see him, officer, I have decided to mount the Noble Daytona 955i in banana yellow. What a beautiful machine. Love these bikes. This 18-year-old jewel will turn heads, usually sideways, as riders try to figure out what the hell it is. This panty chaser won't match the cute blonde on a Fireblade or the red head on a BMW 1000RR, but surprise them with those creeper vibes when they check their mirror and see me there. Cager Karens, beware, as the helmet edition will take you away from your phone when your kids scream, Mom, look, as they hysterically wave through tinted minivan windows, showing them what jerks we are by taking a moment to fist bump the kid's hand out the window. Earn the undesirable respect from the trash import racers as you filter up between two of them about to race and get upset when the sun is setting on the horizon, making the pile of makeup riding in the passenger seats dry up as they realize it's something that will actually satisfy them. Sarcasm, well done on the copy here. Very, very nicely written. Now let's take a look at this motorcycle. Oh, that helmet is really something. He's got like the furry Muppet helmet thing. I am very partial to these old 955 Daytonas. I think they're really interesting. I think that they have like that old school fat sport bike look. The frame is so cool with the two big tubes kind of running down and stuff. It's really unique. And you just don't see many of them, which is just such a really cool thing. And this one looks super clean, man. The bodywork looks all clean and spick and span. The wheels are even nice and clean. I love the old like 3-spoke single-sided swing arm look on these 955 Daytonas. And how can you not love the old Daytona? You know, this is it's a great motorcycle. Beautiful ride, great copy. I'm gonna give you an 8.5 out of 10 and keep it rolling. All right, folks, near and dear to my heart, Gunpoint Llama here says, this is my Yamaha R3, AKA the Deer Jouster. In the first pic, we see her battle wounds from the last joust, but in the last two, you can see she's ready for battle. That's right, not only does it carve corners, it carves venison too. Equipped with an Akropovich slip-on, it sends the deer a-running. So it looks like he had an encounter with a deer. That is really unfortunate. I have actually never hit any kind of substantially sized wildlife on my motorcycle. I have hit many, a possum, a squirrel, and other small rodents, but I've never hit a large animal like a deer. I imagine that would be pretty frightening, but this little R3 is looking pretty clean. R3 is near and dear to my heart. That was the very first motorcycle that I started on way back in the day. Really still love these. Would love to do a ultra lightweight endurance race build with an R3 or a Ninja 400. Love the small displacement category. Love it in black here too. Love that you have now a Akropovich slip-on to hopefully increase the sound a little bit and help those deer run away. I'm gonna give you a 6.5 out of 10 for the unfortunate deer incident, but a 7 out of 10 for overcoming said deer incident. Let's move on. All right, Satsui here says, I present you with what is quite possibly the most wretched little Ninja 250 you've ever seen. This was my beginner bike, and even with looks only a mother could love, I still happily adopted her, and I don't regret it. I've had so much fun on this little thing, weighing only 315 pounds wet and making 30 horsepower with a 14K RPM. It was both a friendly yet exciting bike for someone who has never touched a two-wheeled motor vehicle before. Also, despite looking ugly as sin, she is very clean and mechanically flawless underneath the plastics. Side note, I wanted to submit this bike rather than my pride and joy Daytona so that others can see you don't need the newest or fanciest or fastest or even the prettiest machine to get on and enjoy the life on two wheels. Love that little blurb at the end. Let's take a look at the little Ninja 250. It is really clean. I love these OG square headlight Ninja 250s. You have the pink Kawasaki logo on the side, looking clean and spick and span. Let's take another look at the photos here. Oh, you love to see it, don't you? It almost looks kind of army spec in this kind of gray matte color that it has. I wonder if this was repainted or if this is the same thing. There's a sticker on here that says tattooed people in colors. Now we're gonna have to bleep that out because that is not YouTube safe, but that is quite funny. Nice little hill country ride here of some sort. Yeah, dude, I love a Ninja 250 in clean and spick and span condition. You can pick these up for cheap all day long. And like Satsui said here at the end, you really don't need anything fancy or crazy to get started on two wheels. If you've never ridden any motorcycle before, any motorcycle is gonna be pretty interesting or fun for you to ride. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5 out of 10 and keep it moving. All right, next up, Logan Rose from Texas says, this is my starter bike, a 2021 CBR 500R. Oh boy. Yam will particularly appreciate the tinted windscreen, Amazon anodized lever, LED lighting, straight pipe eBay $50 slip-on, and tire paint. As far as actual tasteful mods, tank and side grips, engine case covers, bar and sliders, heated grips, rear tire hugger, rear bobbins, integrated taillight, STS brake module, and integrated blinker side mirrors. It's super comfortable, great gas mileage, and overall a great learning tool till I get better. Already got 7K miles on it. Now, many of you know that is pure freaking street squid energy right there, dude. Good God. I'm trying to remain objective here, folks. Holy crap. Many of you know I am not the biggest fan of the Honda CBR 500R. I just feel like in a world where the Ninja 400 exists, I don't understand why you'd get a bike that costs like $2,000 more and weighs like 80 pounds more. I just don't get it, but to each their own, you know? Life is a journey, do what you gotta do, you know, do whatever you need to do there. However, I will say this, is that like white tire paint on the inside of the tires? You've spent so much money on cosmetics, you could have spent that on like a track day or something. You could have done something here. Why are you in my Discord server? I need to ban you now. Should we ban this guy live right now? Maybe, I don't know. You know what, all things considered, it's a clean looking bike. I understand that people's personal modifications will not always be to my taste. I just think that your money could be spent in better places perhaps. So this CBR 500R, I'm gonna rate it for me. I know for you, it's probably a 10 out of 10, but for me, where I'm sitting right now, looking at this and where I'm at in my life, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 10. Let's move on. All right, here we go. Stank Nooner says, this is my first bike bought 3.5 weeks ago, a brand new rider. The Holy Grail of Papa Yam said no, a 2006 Harley Sportster 883. Ooh, those are carbureted. It says, you know, the ones with the carb and those fun choke knobs. And then 3 weeks ago, I started watching Yami Noob on YouTube and learned I was destined to live an unfulfilled life and spend my days laying her down. Oh well, here's to learning on a poop. All kidding aside, I am more excited about the future of my motorcycling journey than I knew was possible. Now I wish I could find an extra 9 hours a day to watch Yami Noob. MSF is this coming weekend, wish me skill. Let's take a look at this thing. You know what, say what you will about Sportsters, you can find them anywhere and they will always look pretty good. I mean, this thing looks pretty clean, man. You can always find a reasonably clean Sportster where you live, if you live in America. I love the little angry skeleton on the gas tank. You have to have an angry skull somewhere on your Harley so that people know that you're an angry real boy who won't take no crap from them as you sit there and hate yourself with the carburetors. What does that say? Sick shooter 0.5. I don't know what that means, don't know what that is. Maybe it's a mod, and maybe it's a knob to adjust how badass you are. I would love that. Yeah, look, like the other guy said, whatever you start on, it's a great bike. I'm sure you're having a ton of fun with it. As we said, whenever we had our 883 giveaway, which was a non-carbed one, not the best bike in the world, but that doesn't preclude you from having a great time with it. If you're gonna keep it, I would highly recommend doing the hammer kit on it, because that was a fun weekend project. You can usually get it done if you're reasonably mechanically skilled and can follow directions very, 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 very well. Don't skip the directions on those things. And you'll have a bike that can really rip and is a ton of fun. I'm gonna rate this one a 5 out of 10. Middle of the road, nice clean Sportster, moving on. All right, folks, Jaded here says, 01 Purple Deuce, rode it twice to date, authentic 1%er vibes. Then he's got a 2017 Multistrada Enduro 1200 Land Whale, camper van life is out, camper bike life is in. RIP, recently stolen 2018 Panigale V4S 3 months after completion of 7K worth of track prep and parts. Honorable appearances by Jenny A Star, FZ07 Homie, and IRL Skittles ZX14R. Bonus yet obtained and hopefully not at the bottom of the ocean with a bunch of Porsches, my 2022 Multistrada Pikes Peak V4 that is definitely better than a Yamaha 900 GT and a 69 Monkey, that is all. So these are Jaded's rides. So this 01 Deuce, which I'm not sure what that means. It kind of just looks like a Sportster, but I'm not sure. Then he's got the absolute camper spec, holy moly, guacamole in heaven over here. This absolutely camper spec Multistrada. I can't even believe the amount of stuff you put on here, my man. He's got 3 hard cases and bags tied to the side. Is this a new trend, folks? Are we seeing the emergence of a new trend here? Bags on the side? What? Got here a photo of his panty with the Jenny A Star and the ZX14 guys he mentioned as well. Very sad about the Panigale. Keep your bikes locked up, folks. And That's the Pikes Peak that he's got his deposit on, very cool, and a 69 Monkey. Love it, love to see it. I'm gonna rate the overall stable here a 7 because it's a little too much Ducatista energy for me, but we'll keep it going. Alrighty folks, Cyborg Hawk 247 here, the winner of our Honda Fireblade from last year actually. We'll see if he actually included it, but he actually has a 02 Harley V-Rod converted into a bagger. Rides like a Cadillac, but is as agile as I am after a Big Mac. Custom seats, bags, street glide fairings, and two-tone paint job of a matte Venom black and penny copper. Every meet I head to, this thing ends up stealing the show. Sprintex supercharger pushed it from 115 to 155 horsepower after adding forged internals. The only thing left to take care of is the notorious bagger wobble. So custom build here, a V-Rod supercharged turned into a bagger, folks. It doesn't get much crazier than that. That is quite the journey for this motorcycle to go on. I love the Lazy Boy seats on here. That thing, that is great. The passenger is absolutely adorned in perfection. The Indian cowboy, like kind of little tassels right there, so nice. The floorboards as wide as a bowling alley. That is nice. Your feet will have somewhere so firmly to plant themselves on there. And I think it's great. I think it's unique. I think it's wonderful. The fact that you didn't include the giveaway Honda Fireblade so I could prove to people that it actually went to a real person does make me upset, but I will forgive you and give you an 8.5 out of 10 for this absolutely insane supercharged bagger build because I do love a forced induction motorcycle. I really, really do. Moving on. We got Two Bald Aprilia Tough Lover. Says, Yami Noob, that's my first bike. It has the same 660cc mono made by Minarelli for the Tenere. That's the old Tenere if you don't know. It's fast from 0 to 60 and good from 60 to 100. Absolutely no electronics because I'm broke. And some rusty aftermarket pieces added to fight the cold day. Because of the mono and some changing I made in the engine, that bike is totally undrivable at constant speeds. It can go just full throttle or braking, and that's why I love her. Now, what am I looking at here? I'm trying to figure out what this bike is. Because he just said it's the same 660 mono made by Minarelli for the Tenere, but I don't think he says it is the Tenere or not. I don't think it's a Tenere 660. I actually rode one of those in Israel a couple years ago, and that was a very fun experience. I don't have some good photos of this bike, but from what I can tell, maybe a reasonable little like pseudo big dual sport supermoto thing. It kind of looks like a DR650 sport touring version. Because obviously it's got 17-inch wheels, sport rubber, so it's a touring bike, but it's hard to say what kind of motorcycle this is. So Two Bald Aprilia Tough Lover, for not telling me what motorcycle it is, I'm gonna have to give you a 4 out of 10 and move on. All right, folks, Crazy Jimmy here says, this is my 2018 SV650 that I just bought. Looking familiar, we actually did a giveaway bike that looked just like this, basically. It's my first motorcycle. I wanted to get a used bike with some mods already done to it because I didn't have the budget for mods afterwards. I hit the mother load. It has a Delcavic exhaust, power commander, Öhlins preload and compression adjustable fork cartridge, and a K-Tech adjustable shock. Whoa, nice. And a Corbin seat. That's not even the entire list. The previous owner obviously cared about this bike and took care of it. I'm super excited for the upcoming riding season so I can finally put some miles down. What a nice upgrade on the suspension side for this SV. Josh has told me many, many times that SVs, if you just do a couple suspension upgrades to them, handle like a dream, and I can certainly believe it. This one is super clean. I love the bigger Delcavics on these. Get a really nice tone and sound out of it, not too loud. We put an absolutely wretched Dan Moto pipe on our old SB650 that we gave away before we fixed it with a real exhaust, and it sounded just ridiculous. And these bikes sound great, man. The V-twin and the SVs sound so awesome. That is a super nice suspension upgrade for this machine, and already has the tank grips too. Clearly this was owned by someone who really, really loved it and cared for it. You know, depending on where you are, this doesn't look like Texas, but I knew a guy who had an SV that was really similar to this, with the same suspension upgrades and everything else. So I'm gonna hit you up on Discord. If you're local in Texas, I may know who you bought this from because this motorcycle looks really familiar to me. I'm gonna rate this one a 9 out of 10 for cleanliness and used bike find. Very nicely done. However, I'm gonna dock it a few points down to a 7 out of 10 because it is just an SV650. So, moving on. Here we go, Dr. Snickers, 2005 ZX-10R crack bike that's under repairs, featuring lowered tie rods on the rear to lower the bike and a motor that sounds like a 12-volt Cummins at a stoplight. What's not to love? Maybe a 12 valve, not 12 volt. Jesus Christ, I just see 12 and V, I assume it's a volt. Yeah, that is definitely a crack bike. I see a 675 in there though, a first gen Daytona. Why didn't you tell me about that? That's what I want to see. This ZX-10's front looks so peculiar. I've never really seen this generation with this front end, honestly. What a weird looking bike. Sorry to hear that it's down under repairs, and the fact that it's lowered and probably a total street squid missile, but this looks like it has a lot of potential to be a great motorcycle, so I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Keep it moving. All right, Bad Moto Trucker says, here is my 2015 Triumph Speed Triple ABS. It is fast as hell and terrifying at times. I did my first accidental power wheelie later that day. This summer, I will see how badly I suck at riding a VIR while doing my first track day. Hashtag wanna be fast boy. Love it. Speed Triples, they just have aged so well, I think. I think that they're a great motorcycle, especially these older gens. They are still really, really nice to ride. A little heavy and a little portly by today's hyper naked whole craziness that's going on, but still a great, great motorcycle. I love it in the Diablo red over here. This is a super clean Speed Triple, and I love to see it. Look at those beautiful mountains in the back, enjoying life. Ripping it up, you'll love to see it. I'm gonna rate this one a 9 out of 10. It's so clean, so beautiful, love a Speed Triple. Let's keep it moving. All right, Lurk says, here's a real crapper for you from a fellow Austin boy, and a twofer with It Came From Craigslist. I'm gonna post it in a few hours. 99 VT 1100C Shadow that I bought off some crackhead in Hayes County a few years ago. Just about RS 660 time, peaked the butchered exhaust. Let's take a look at this thing. Yeah, it doesn't look great. It looks a little worn out. The grips, I hate those grips on cruisers. Oh boy, it looks a little rough. The tiny little headlight. It's so funny how these Japanese cruisers just tried so hard to be a Sportster, and they just never were, and they never sold. Yeah, that looks pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. But not the worst I've ever seen, to be honest. That exhaust does look pretty wretched. Yeah, it doesn't look great. I'm gonna rate this one a 5 out of 10. Middle of the road, little Craigslist bike. Keep it rolling here. All right, folks, Victor up here is this 1997 ZX-7R, the Craigslist special, making around 300 wheel horsepower at 21 PSI. This is a boosted motorcycle that Victor has posted about before. It's basically just a stripped down ZX-7R with some fancy paint, along with a 2008 CBR 1000 rear and a straight handlebar. Got some goodies inside her though, like a Heel-Tech quick shifter, Dynatech injection, some spicy blow-through carbs, a carbed turbo. Oh, I can't even imagine the craziness you've had to gone through. And since bikes are safe to begin with, I decided to slap a TD04 18T turbo on her. It goes 0 to 200 pretty fast, but after that, wind just gets annoying. I keep trying to kill her and she keeps trying to kill me, but we're still out there doing hooligan stuff. Let's take a look at this beast. Straight up Ghost Rider material here. The fact that you have a carbureted turbo bike makes me just want to die. I imagine that's just bananas. It does look pretty cool though. It looks super custom, super unique. I love this shot of you at night with it. I bet it's a ton of fun to ride. Would love to take a rip on it if I ever get the chance, but I believe you are out in Sweden, so it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna rate this one. It's gonna be high. I think a 9.5 out of 10, turboed motorcycle. It's a Suzuki. No, actually it's a Kawasaki, it's a ZX-7. So actually 8.5 out of 10. We had to dock it a little bit for the Kawasaki boys. Moving on. All right, Mr. Six Cylinders up next. They say, well, here she is, my soon-to-be very beautiful 02 CBR 954RR, and no, it's not a goddamn Street Fighter, LOL. I don't understand the point of taking a fully fitted bike and removing the fairings. Isn't that the point? Just buy a naked bike, guys. Come on. Anyway, I bought her last year early in the season for too much, stripped it all the way down, overwintered, checked all the things, replaced all the broken bits, spent too much money, and now waiting on the monster fairings to show up. It's coincidentally going to be the same color as the Hornet, but I ordered mine at the end of February, so so I did not know your color choice at that point. First picks are what it began, or what it looked like when I got it. Oh, and as a slight reincarnation of Tube here on the Discord, CBR 954RR all day, every day for life, LOL. Yeah, this is a great motorcycle. 954s are pretty sweet. They were definitely a gem of the time. This one looked a bit rough from the photos I'm seeing, but it looks like you got it torn down a little bit, doing some work on it. That's a beautiful frame on that motorcycle. Looks like a nice, fresh chain on it. Some other parts and stuff. Looks like a lot of work being done on this thing. You love to see it. You love to see these old leader bikes being kept up and maintained and thought about really, really well. I love to see them. As a reincarnation of Tube, I give you a 10 out of 10. I have to. All right, Pseudo Wudo says, I bought an R3 to learn the fundamentals, but all I've learned is that every 12-year-old on a Ninja 400 is faster than me. Yes, that is very true. That is a pretty cool looking little R3 right there. Good body position, staying in the pocket, getting aggressive right there. I love to see it. That is a great looking bike. Looks to be a full build and prep. Interesting tire choice. I would have gone with something else right there. But that's a really, really clean looking R3. Looks like a total full prep and build. And that is the way to do it if you want to get fast. You got to get a little bike and go fast. I ran an RC390 into the absolute ground for like a year and a half as I really built up my skill sets on track. That little bike taught me everything that I know, and it was a ton of fun. This is a really cool motorcycle. I'm gonna give this little R3 you know what, man? I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. This is a super clean, nice track build. I love to see it. And yes, basically every 12-year-old on a 400 is faster than you. Yeah. All right, Katoom the Baboon says, meet Anakin's Hammer, the ultimate orange-assed baboon, Darth Super Dukius, a veritable modified sport touring TIE fighter. The Uber Herzog was not content with a normal life, and so, like the namesake, needed to be rebuilt to reflect its dark side nature. This bike decided to grenade the rear brake caliper and rim just so it could be equipped with even more orange than the anodized parts for the extra horsepower, and boom katoom, the baboon was born. This monstrosity of a Dark Lord has toured all over Scandinavia, Austria, and Germany, from the famed Green Hell to the Great Naki Mountains, and even off-road. It can now be found raiding the wilds along the Viking Inland Sea, Kattegat, all the way to Westeros. That's how it's pronounced. Both real places in Sweden. So it looks like a Super Duke, lightly modified to be a sport touring, because they did not make a GT version of this first generation Super Duke, but that is a beautiful backdrop. Look at all those mountains. That is gorgeous. Really sweet. Man, these are great. How can you not love a first generation Super Duke? Looks like he had it in a ferry in here, taking it over somewhere. That is something that I'm very jealous of that you guys get to do over there in Europe. You can put your bike on a boat, take the boat across the water, get to the new place, do another thing. It's very cool. Yeah, all these beautiful photos. That bike has definitely been to a lot of places. That is very, very cool. You love to see it. First generation Super Duke, super clean, mismatched orange wheel. Love the color contrast there. Has an Aprilia RS660 vibe with the two different colored wheels. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. All right, folks, this video is unfortunately running a little bit long here, so I'm gonna pick one more motorcycle and wrap this one up. The first one that catches my eye here. Looks like Goat Roper already has a ZX6. I've talked about that one before. You know what? I'm gonna do Badassers here. He is our moderator, and I have him as an orange moderator because I thought it was funny because he's such a KTM simp, and he actually has the almost same motorcycle as I do. He says, this is Cheeto, my new 2022 KTM 500 EXC-F. First pick is where we started, and $9,000 later, we ended up with picks 2 and 3. Too many mods to list in 100 words, but the notables are Kreft custom suspension, Recluse clutch and left hand rear brake, Scott's steering stabilizer, Baja XL80 LED headlight, C Concepts comfort seat, a new set of Achurbis plastics for that sweet orange look, and someday it will have an Athena Get ECU if it actually ships from Italy. It is surprisingly easy to ride on single track and wheelies like a monster. I love it. For those of you who may not know, I recently picked up a Husqvarna FE501S, which is the kind of cousin to this motorcycle. It's a little different, but basically the same thing. And Badassers KTM just looks so friggin' clean, doesn't it? What a great looking motorcycle. He's got it done up in this super duper orange spec, and it's a great looking thing. And after you've done all these sparkles, man, you gotta go ride it. Go rip it. I wanna see this thing dirty, fully riding, having some fun with it. And I am really happy you got your C-Concept seat to fit on there because mine didn't fit up to my Husqvarna and I'm having to ship it back and I'm so upset. But anyways, folks, that's gonna wrap up It Came From Discord. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you had some fun hanging out with me today on Weekends with Yam. If you want to join our Discord server, hit the link down below to yammynoob.co. Become a member, sign up, you won't regret it. We have so many channels in here, it's a ton of fun. I have so much fun on the Discord server. And big shout out to Ridge Wallets for supporting today's video as well. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.
Keep watching.